Let's start with something few dare to admit. In a world run by wolves, blind kindness turns you into prey. You were raised to be good, to stay humble, to be patient, to do the right thing, and told that somehow the universe would reward you for it. That if you just kept your heart pure, life would balance the scales. But life isn't a moral ledger. It's a strategy game. Deep down, you've felt it. That sting of being the nice one who gets overlooked, dismissed, or taken advantage of. You've played fair while others played smart. You've kept your peace while others claimed the prize. The world doesn't reward virtue, it rewards awareness. Niccolo Machiavelli was one of the few honest enough to say it out loud. The Prince wasn't written to teach cruelty. It was a survival manual for those trying to keep their integrity in a ruthless world. He exposed the hard truth: morality without intelligence is self-sabotage disguised as virtue. Kindness without protection is a leash. It becomes the rope others use to drag you where they please. You're not wrong for being kind, but you're mistaken if you believe kindness alone earns respect. In this world, goodness without boundaries is an open invitation for exploitation. Think about the people you admire, the ones who actually hold power. Did they rise on good intentions alone, or did they master the balance between compassion and cunning, grace and grit? Machiavelli never asked you to abandon empathy. He asked you to stop being naive. He warned, if you don't learn the rules of the game, you'll forever play as someone else's pawn. Every time you silence yourself to keep the peace, every time you give endlessly without return, every time you tolerate disrespect, you silently teach the world how to treat you. But you can change that, right now. You can stay kind, but make your kindness intelligent. The goal isn't to harden your heart, it's to protect it. The problem isn't that you're good, it's that your goodness is undefended. You assume others share your decency, that people will treat you as you treat them, but they won't, not all of them, because the world is not full of like-minded souls. It's filled with opportunists, smiling faces with sharpened motives. There are people who make a living out of reading your softness and exploiting it. They study the generous, the trusting, the overly transparent, because predictable kindness is the easiest target to manipulate. Machiavelli saw through this illusion. He understood that when cornered, humans often abandon virtue for advantage. It's not cynicism, it's pattern recognition. He wasn't preaching cruelty, he was preaching awareness. Without it, your ideals will keep betraying you. So this isn't a call to become heartless, it's a call to become strategic. To make your kindness a choice, not a reflex. To give only where your energy is respected. To see through motives before they speak. To recognize that being loved and being respected are not the same. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Because being loved doesn't guarantee respect, but being respected often earns love in return. Ask yourself, what has your constant niceness truly brought you? Do people admire you, or do they assume you'll always say yes? Unprotected kindness doesn't create loyalty. It creates entitlement. People stop valuing what's always available. They stop listening to those who never say no. They don't do this because they're evil. They do it because you've shown them they can. If your generosity keeps leading to disappointment, your silence to disrespect, and your patience to invisibility, it's because you confused kindness with a strategy. But kindness isn't a strategy until it's backed by strength, until it knows when to withdraw, when to demand, when to protect itself. Machiavelli never said, "You must stop being good." He said, "You must stop being blind." For too long, you've sought approval instead of authority. You've polished your edges so you wouldn't upset anyone, and in doing so, you became invisible. You called it peacekeeping. The world called it weakness. He'd whisper this truth to you now. The world isn't ruled by the lovable. It's ruled by the unreadable. When you crave to be liked, you soften in places that require steel. You bend when you should hold. You forgive when silence would have spoken louder. And over time, you fade from the world's respect, because people don't follow the predictable. They follow the mysterious, the ones they can't fully read. Machiavelli's words weren't about fear for fear's sake. They were about unpredictability. He understood that power lives in mystery, in the ability to stay calm, composed, and unreadable. When you seek constant approval, you reveal your weakness. You teach others exactly what you crave, and they'll use it. You let them know that your kindness has no edge, your patience no limit. And once they learn that, they stop respecting you. Approval, Machiavelli would say, is the softest prison of all, built with compliments, locked with insecurity. The more you chase it, the smaller you become. Because being liked is easy, but being respected, that requires a backbone, boundaries, the strength to walk away from any situation that demands your silence as payment for love. So take a look at your life. Where have you overgiven, over-apologized, overstayed? Was it kindness or was it fear? Because if you don't confront that truth, the cycle will never end. You'll keep smiling through disrespect, keep excusing betrayal, keep hoping your goodness will finally be seen. But it won't. Not until you stop seeking permission to be powerful. The moment you choose to be kind and unshakable, soft-hearted yet unyielding, you shift from being used to being respected. Machiavelli would remind you, power isn't evil. Power is simply awareness, discipline, and control. The dark side of goodness, lessons from Machiavelli. From childhood, you were told that goodness would one day be recognized, that honesty, loyalty, and patience would eventually earn you the crown. But no one told you that the world isn't watching your purity, it's calculating your usefulness. The truth is, life doesn't move by virtue, it moves by leverage. Power isn't about intentions, it's about control. So ask yourself, where has your decency really taken you? How many times have you done the right thing and watched someone sharper, bolder, more strategic rise above you? It hurts, because a part of you still believes in the myth that good guys finish first, that truth always wins. But if you've lived long enough, you know, the world doesn't reward the morally pure. It rewards those who are strategically good, the ones who understand timing, presence, and perception, the ones who know how to read a room before speaking, how to project calm authority instead of desperate kindness. Machiavelli understood that power isn't about being virtuous, it's about being perceived as virtuous. He wrote, "It is not necessary to have all the virtues, but it is necessary to appear to have them." And in that single line lies the heart of social influence. Appearances shape perception, and perception shapes reality. You might be the most capable person in the room, but if you don't know how to signal confidence, people won't treat you as such. Think about it. The manipulator thrives not because he's the smartest, but because he looks certain. The fool wins attention because he acts confident. Meanwhile, the quiet, capable man waits to be noticed, and never is. The world doesn't notice what doesn't demand its attention. That's why Machiavelli didn't teach manipulation, he taught performance. He wanted you to master the art of self-presentation, to project strength, calm, and control even when you're unsure inside. Because the truth is, power isn't just earned, it's displayed. It's not about being fake, it's about being intentional. He understood that humans are emotional creatures. We follow confidence, charisma, and certainty, not quiet sincerity. So if you want to stop being overlooked, stop hoping people will see your goodness, start showing your authority. Start controlling the story others tell about you. Your presence should make people pay attention, not because you're loud, but because your silence has gravity. Your words should be few, but deliberate. Every move you make should feel calculated, like a king adjusting a single piece on a chessboard, Because at the end of the day, morality doesn't rule the world, mastery does. Think about the last time you watched someone less competent get ahead. Not because they were better, but because they looked the part. They spoke with conviction. They owned the space. They understood that people don't follow truth. They follow the performance of power. Machiavelli said, "It is not necessary to have all the virtues, but to appear to have them." That's not deceit. That's strategy. Because perception, like currency, can buy influence. You are not what you are. You are what others believe you to be. And in a world where decisions are made in seconds, those first impressions define your opportunities. People don't see your heart. They see your posture. They don't feel your intentions. They hear your tone. If you appear hesitant, they'll doubt you. If you appear soft, they'll push you. And it won't matter how good or talented you truly are. Because people don't follow quiet capability. They follow visible confidence. This is why the loudest fool often commands more attention than the silent thinker. Not because he's better, but because he mastered his image. You can be wise and still invisible. You can be skilled and still ignored. Until you control your narrative, the world will write it for you, and it rarely writes kindly. Machiavelli's lesson was clear. You must curate your presence, like a ruler curates his image, not to please, but to lead. Your self-presentation should shape the terms of how others interact with you. Because if you don't define your value, they will, and they'll always undervalue you. You don't have to pretend, but you do have to present. Power is not just held, it's projected. Respect isn't just earned, it's signaled. Stop waiting for the world to recognize your worth. Make it undeniable. True power often whispers. The strongest presence in the room is rarely the loudest, because noise exposes you, but mystery commands attention. Machiavelli understood that. He wrote, "A prince must know how to conceal his intentions, not because deception is noble, but because transparency in the wrong hands is self-destruction." You've been told to speak your truth, to be open. But every time you over-explain, you reveal too much. Every time you vent to the wrong person, you give away power. Once people can predict your thoughts, they can anticipate your moves. And when they can anticipate you, they can control you. Strategic silence is not pretending, it's protection. It's choosing what to reveal, when to reveal it, and to whom. Think of how many times you've overshared, thinking it would build trust, only to have that information used against you. That's not honesty, that's poor self-defense. In a world obsessed with exposure, those who control what others know about them control the board. The less people can read you, the more they respect your space. Uncertainty makes people cautious, and that hesitation gives you power. Your words should carry weight. Your sentences should feel intentional. Speak less, but say more. When you pause before you speak, people lean in. They replay your silence, searching for meaning between your words. That's influence, not volume, not passion, but presence. Machiavelli's advice still echoes. Never let yourself be too easily read. The man who overshares becomes predictable, and predictability kills power. So stop explaining yourself to everyone. Stop revealing your plans too soon. Stop giving away the map of who you are, because when no one knows your next move, no one can control your next outcome. Mystery isn't weakness, it's armor. It keeps your opponents cautious, your allies intrigued, and your presence commanding. The dark side of goodness. Lessons from Machiavelli. Machiavelli didn't just study power, he studied fear. And what he found was simple, predictable people are expendable. Unpredictable people are powerful. Once others can predict how you'll react, they can plan around you. They can push your buttons, manipulate your emotions, and weaponize your patterns. Not because they're smarter, but because you've made yourself easy to read. Think of all the times you've reacted the same way, to disrespect, rejection, or conflict. Maybe you froze. Maybe you apologized. Maybe you tried to keep the peace. And because people could count on that response, they learned how to control you. But the moment you break the pattern, when you stop being predictable, everything shifts. They no longer know what to expect. Will you walk away? Will you confront them calmly? Will you disappear entirely? That uncertainty makes them cautious. It creates distance, and distance creates respect, because people don't fear cruelty. They fear unreadability. The unreadable person can smile without revealing intent, listen without confirming agreement, act without telegraphing motive. That's not manipulation, that's control. It's the art of staying 2 steps ahead, because when they can't predict you, they can't prepare for you. And if they can't prepare, you hold the upper hand. So break your patterns. Say no where you used to say yes. Stay silent when you used to explain. Leave when they expect you to stay. This isn't chaos, it's calculated mystery. It's the quiet discipline of refusing to be defined by your past behavior. When people can't pin you down, they hesitate. And hesitation is power. Respect isn't built by being ever present. It's built when your absence matters. We've been taught that showing up constantly, replying instantly, giving endlessly is what makes us valuable. But Machiavelli warned that too much familiarity breeds contempt, and scarcity creates worth. If you're always available, you become ordinary. If you're always giving, you become expected. What's expected is never appreciated. You see this everywhere. In relationships, in careers, in friendships. The one who chases, who over-delivers, who never steps back, is the one most often forgotten. Not because they lacked value, but because they never created space for their value to be felt. Machiavelli advised rulers to avoid overexposure, not to seem superior, but to preserve respect. The more people see you, the more they think they've figured you out. Once they believe that, they stop respecting your boundaries. But when you pull back intentionally, when you stop rushing to rescind, stop always being the first to reach out, something shifts. They start to feel your absence. They start to wonder. And that wondering raises your worth. Suddenly, your time becomes a privilege. Your words feel weighty. Your attention becomes rare. Your presence gains gravity because it's no longer casual. It's deliberate. The most powerful figures in history knew this. They didn't attend every argument or react to every rumor. They chose their moments carefully. And when they spoke, the world listened. That's not arrogance. That's strategic distance. It's not isolation. It's elevation. When you manage your visibility, you control your narrative. Because the more familiar you become, the easier it is for people to take you for granted. But when you learn to pull back, to control when and how people experience you, you stop begging for respect. You start commanding it. So stop fearing absence. Stop worrying that if you step back, you'll be forgotten. If your presence is only remembered because it's constant, it was never respected in the first place. True influence isn't built on noise. It's built on presence that feels earned. The ones who leave impact aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who appear like thunder, rare, intentional, unforgettable. Now let's talk about one of the most underestimated forms of power, emotional control. You've been told to let it all out, to express yourself, to never bottle up your feelings. But Machiavelli understood something most people still miss. Every reaction you give is a roadmap to your weaknesses, and the cunning will use it. The moment you lose your temper, you lose control. The one who can make you angry owns you. The one who can make you react can manipulate you. Machiavelli taught restraint, the art of staying composed when provoked. Because the man who cannot control his emotions can never control outcomes. Think back to the last time you snapped, the last time someone got under your skin and made you say or do something impulsive. Who really had the power in that moment? Not you. It was the person who triggered you, the one who stayed calm while you unraveled. That's the power of restraint. It keeps others from steering your behavior. Emotional control doesn't make you cold, it makes you dangerous. It's what allows you to think clearly when others are ruled by chaos. It's what separates leaders from followers, strategists from reactors. When you master your emotions, your calm becomes intimidating, your silence unnerving, because calm in chaos looks like leadership, and leadership attracts respect. The one who can stay centered when insulted, quiet when provoked, still when challenged, that's the one who commands attention. Machiavelli wasn't telling you not to feel, he was telling you not to bleed in front of those who would use your emotions against you. Your emotions are sacred, but your reactions are public. If people can provoke you, they can predict you. And if they can predict you, they can control you. Learn to feel deeply, but act slowly, because nothing unsettles manipulators more than a man who refuses to give them a reaction. Pay attention to your triggers, the tightening in your chest, the heat in your face, the urge to explain. These are the moments that test your control. If they can touch those nerves, they can steer your decisions. But if they can't, you become untouchable, because no one can dominate a man who doesn't flinch. Emotional mastery is quiet power. It's the difference between reacting and responding, between chaos and control. When you stop being led by ego, fear, or anger, you start leading through presence, not noise. You see clearly while others drown in emotion. The calmest mind always wins. Power doesn't belong to the one who moves first. It belongs to the one who moves best. And in a world addicted to speed and reaction, restraint becomes the ultimate edge. The dark side of goodness. Lessons from Machiavelli. We live in a culture that celebrates quick moves and instant reactions, where everyone rushes to prove they're doing something, saying something, being something. But Machiavelli understood a truth that's been lost in the noise. Power doesn't belong to the fastest. It belongs to the most precise. The true strategist doesn't chase. He watches. He waits. He learns before he acts. Think of a hunter. He doesn't fire at the first sound in the woods. He studies the wind, the silence, the timing. And when the perfect moment comes, he strikes once. One move, one decision, one moment that changes everything. That's what strategic patience is. The discipline to wait until the right opportunity reveals itself. The average person reacts out of fear. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of missing out. Fear of losing ground. But the powerful man moves from clarity, not panic. He knows that every hasty move carries a cost. Machiavelli wrote, "Fortune favors those who know how to adapt, and adaptation requires one rare skill above all, timing. You don't have to be the first to speak, the first to defend, or the first to act. You only need to move at the right moment, the moment when noise fades and truth becomes visible. Then, one deliberate move can do what 1,000 rushed gestures never could." Patience doesn't mean passivity, it means precision. So ask yourself, will you keep reacting like everyone else? Or will you train yourself to wait, to observe, to strike with mastery instead of motion? Because in the end, power doesn't belong to the loud or the restless. It belongs to the calm, the disciplined, the ones who understand that timing is the invisible weapon of the wise. Now you see why kindness alone was never enough, why being liked didn't earn you respect, why being endlessly available only made you easy to use. You weren't weak, you were simply unarmed. No one ever taught you that silence could be strength, that distance could create desire, that unpredictability could be more feared than confrontation. No one told you that image isn't vanity, it's leverage. That emotions, if unchecked, can become your own chains. That timing isn't luck, it's power. But now, you've seen the entire map. You know what Machiavelli was really trying to show us: how to survive with grace in a world that rewards strategy over sincerity. From this moment on, you can no longer play the old game. If you return to seeking approval, to explaining yourself, to reacting to every slight, you'll drown in a system designed to consume the obedient. This world doesn't reward the polite, it rewards the perceptive. The ones who move with awareness, silence, and control. So stop being easy to read. Stop being easy to reach. Stop being easy to control. You are not here to prove that you're good. You're here to live with intelligence, clarity, and purpose. Let others chase noise. You move in silence. Let others beg for approval. You build presence that commands it. Because from this point forward, you're not just playing the game, you understand it. You've learned how to hold your fire, how to protect your heart, how to walk with kindness that carries strength instead of surrender. You've learned that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing, to let others reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. And now comes the question that matters most. Which principle will you apply first? Which behavior ends today? Which version of you will never again be used by others? Because awareness without action is just another form of self-deception. This is where transformation begins, not in grand gestures, but in quiet decisions. The decision to speak less and mean more, to give less and matter more, to stop chasing approval and start commanding attention, to stop playing the victim of your own goodness and start being the architect of your own power. If this message hit you deeply, it's because a part of you already knew it was true. You've just been waiting for permission to live it. So take this as your sign. Your kindness was never the problem. Your lack of strategy was. Be the person who can be compassionate and cunning, loving and strong, giving and grounded. And remember, every story needs emotion. If this lesson stirred something in you, anger, clarity, hope, that's the point. Because emotion is the spark that ignites action. Don't just feel it, use it. Channel it into change. So tell me, which truth resonated most with you? Which part of your old self are you ready to outgrow? Comment below. I read every word, because this isn't just another video. It's a movement, a call to reclaim your power, to protect your kindness, and to shape your destiny with intelligence and grace. And if this vision struck a chord with you, if it helped you see the world and yourself in a new light, then support the message. Hit the like button, subscribe, join this channel, not because I asked, but because now you understand. You've seen how the world works, and that awareness, that sharpened vision deserves to grow stronger.